and welcome to this week's episode of Jing TV. So thanks to one of our readers, clients' suggestions, viewers' suggestions out there. Oh my God, clients, readers, viewers. Thanks to one of our viewers' suggestions out there. This week we're going to talk about dealing with client expectations. So specifically, it's that idea of when clients come in with a back pain or a neck pain, their expectations of wanting to be treated and what happens. So any tips on this, Meg? What do you...
Well, it's a big thing, isn't it, right? Yeah, so it's that thing about like massage therapy being this like expectation, full of expectations of the idea that I'm going to lie down and you're going to fix me
in one
and I don't have to get in, I don't have to get involved. And I think the biggest thing that we really try to say to people who are doing advanced clinical massage therapy is education, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So get out of the client mindset. And it can be quite interesting. Somebody can have been in pain for 20 years and they're coming for one session and maybe they're expecting to get fixed. And also you're putting that expectation on yourself.
Your own voices.
So often I find that massage therapists just are not taking control of the situation.
So
and that's key, isn't it?
Yeah,
really?
So it's that education in the first instance. So when somebody calls up and says, I want to come in, you have that dialogue and say, what's up, what's going on with you? And they say, well, I've got a pain radiating down my leg, or it's around my hips, or I've been in pain. And then you ask the question, it's like, well, how long have you been in pain? And sort of ease them into the idea that the first session is really going to be about getting to know each other, finding out what the pain is, and then putting a plan together of treatment rather than the first treatment being about fixing the problem. And really, I think if therapists address that head on, then don't you think clients really respond to
Yes,
that?
Absolutely. I think it's about taking control, and there's a big word there about managing client expectations. So it's you claiming the role of an expert, so you saying to the person, and I think the Jing method of looking at treating chronic pain within 1 to 6 clinical sessions with looking at a reduction in pain round about week 3 is a really good ballpark thing to educate your client in. So
Absolutely.
If you're coming to me with a bad back, Mrs. Jones, then I'd expect to see a reduction in that pain round about week 3. Once we start seeing a reduction in that pain, we'll start moving you on to fortnightly sessions once every 2 weeks. So you're telling the client right from the start, in your expertise, this is your knowledge
this
about...
This is the kind of like the trajectory of similar pain patterns. And I cannot express enough that if you're upfront with your clients, then they will feel that they're on safe ground and they can make an informed decision if they want to work with you, because obviously they can go get a massage at a spa, have a one-off treatment, have a knockout, lie down, don't think about things for an hour, and that might be what they want to invest their money and time in. But you're going to offer something different as a clinical massage therapist, which is actually addressing the pain for the long term, and people are really responsive to that. And that's how we've built our business, and everybody else who come to Jing has. It's about getting people to invest in themselves, i.e. investing in you.
Yes, absolutely. And I think the other thing is actually knowing your stuff in terms of pathologies. So very much generally the common musculoskeletal conditions that we're looking at, bad backs, bad necks, you can expect to see a result in 3 weekly treatments using the trigger point and the fascial and the stretching and self-care techniques that we advocate at Jing. For certain pathologies, so for example, frozen shoulder, which we have either talked about or will talk about in an upcoming episode of Jing TV. Things like chronic fatigue, ME, fibromyalgia, they might be more long-term conditions that you're working with over a longer period of time to get a result. So therefore, you're managing your client's expectations accordingly. So something like fibromyalgia is a very complex condition. Often people have had it for years, and it's going to take quite a lot of time, often with a multimodal approach, working a lot of self-care, maybe working with other disciplines to make a difference on that. So your clinical expertise helps to the person to know that they're not going to get, completely better within 3 sessions.
And also, I always find it helpful to sort of say to somebody, well, if you've been in pain for 6 months, 8 months, it's taken you 10 years to get into that amount of pain, then if it takes me half as long to get you out, that's pretty great.
That's pretty good,
And so, 4 or 5 sessions is nothing compared to 10 years of chronic pain. So I think that, if we're answering the question of how to deal with clients' expectations, it's honesty, it's upfront, it's educating
taking control.
them. taking control and really knowing your pathologies and knowing what kind of the guidelines are about treatment and expectation of getting better, and knowing that with manual therapy we can undercut that by quite a large amount. So good luck with it.
Yeah, give the Fixing 6, the Jing method a go in terms of once a week for up to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It is quite magical. Come and study with us. All our courses are very much directed towards this very practical outcome-based approach to treatment of pain, and would love to see you.
Facebook, Twitter, get involved.